Greetings, everyone. I'd like to speak on governmental marriage. This kind of marriage, the union that is formed, the male and the female are joined together by the Holy Spirit. So it's not a matter of a man met a woman and he felt now this should be my wife, or for whatever reason. It is spiritual, it's not a natural thing. Marriage, a governmental marriage, is ministry. It is for the purpose of ministry. And let me read for you in Mark chapter 10, verse 6 up to 9. It says, "But from the beginning of the creation, God made male and female." Verse 7 says, "For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife." Which cause? It's for the eternal purpose. So verse 8 says that the two shall be one flesh. So then they are no more two, but one flesh. Verse 9 says that therefore God has joined together. Let not man put us under. So governmental marriage is for the purpose of God establishing his kingdom here on earth. So I'll give an example of a governmental personality, and this is Abraham. God chose him out of the rest. He chose him for this purpose because, first of all, he was assured of his character. He knew Abraham's heart, that his heart was after God. Because if someone else was sent and maybe the desires that are within them are for self, they would never fulfill that mission or the purpose that God had. But he knew Abraham. And I'll read to you in Genesis chapter 18, verse 19. It says, "For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken to him." So he knew that when he sends Abraham, Abraham will fulfill the will of God. Unlike others, when they are sent out, already their hearts are not even for God. They are not for the will of God. They are there to do their own things. And they adapt to the ways of the world. And instead of teaching their children and their household, and those even beyond their household, they end up teaching them the things that they're picking from the world. But Abraham, God was sure, he knew him. He knew his heart was after him. And that he will actually teach his children the ways of the Lord. And it will go forth to the generations. And you see now such a union, as we read in Mark chapter 10, verse 9, that what therefore God has joined together, let no man put us under. No one can divide such a union. Because you can see God has invested in this union because of the eternal purpose. So he'll ensure this union stays together. Because when God brings in the man, he puts the vision, the ministry in him, the destiny in him. But this destiny cannot be fulfilled unless the woman, the right woman that God had assigned and given a womb to birth this man, to birth his vision, to birth his destiny. That is the only time now the two shall become one, and they'll be having this, they'll carry this eternal purpose. They'll be living to fulfill this eternal purpose. And you see now, this is where God guards this union. You can see the time when Abraham at that point it was Abram and Sarai. You can see that when they met with Pharaoh, Abram had told his wife to say that she's his sister. And Pharaoh wanted her. She was beautiful. And he wanted her. So when he took her in, God himself, God plagued Pharaoh and his household. They were plagued. Why? Because he took Abram's wife. So when Pharaoh realized there's something that is happening because of this woman, he took her back, he restored her back to her husband. Look at Genesis chapter 12, verse 17. It says, Genesis chapter 20, verse 3, it says, God warned Abimelech. You see, Abimelech, let me just make it short. Abimelech had also taken in Sarai because they had said, this is a sister. So he wanted her for a wife. But God appeared to him in the dream and warned him about Sarah and told him he has taken a man's wife. And because of that, he will die. So he was told he needs to go and restore the wife back to the husband, lest he dies. And you see, Abimelech did exactly that. He took back Sarah back to the husband, and he even gave them silver and gold and livestock just to restore her, to vindicate her. So Abimelech made sure that he also gave substance to restore the wife back to Abraham, to vindicate her. So it's not a matter of quoting, but understanding what God had planned in the first place. So there's a purpose that God has put. And this is what we're supposed to be living to fulfill while we're here on earth. So be blessed with that word.